listen to Kendrick and Matt on the Slip and Dip podcast.
Ah, beautiful, man. Go live, bro. We're live. We're live. We're live, Kendrick.
Yeah, shut that down.
We're live, Kendrick. Welcome to the Slip and Dip podcast, episode number 64. I'll go in the intro since Kendrick got held up. I don't know what's going on. We're live, man. What's up, man? How's it going?
Technical issues, man. Where's the regular drop? Like, I'm completely lost.
It doesn't matter. We're live on YouTube right now. Let's get into the show, buddy. Let's get into it. Yeah, so we fumbled the intro there a little bit, but it is what it is. Episode 64. We're live here on YouTube. We got people in the room already watching. Appreciate you guys. What's going on, man?
Doing good, man. Ready before the show. We're going to have Alex Perez. Just came off that fresh, I won't say ass whooping, but he destroyed Shorty Torres. And then our man Brad Katona, a.k.a. Clark Kent. He the dude you do not want to walk up on. You think he's a friendly guy until he gets you. He's a friendly guy, but he's a guy you don't want to mess with. As he proved on the Ultimate Fighter's season, doing what he do. Ultimate Fighter featherweight champion, since there was two of them this episode. Man is in Ireland taking the show international, man. Who would have thought a year ago we'd be international?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, man. Yeah, I mean, we've had guests from multiple different countries and everything like that on, but it's our first guest coming to us from another country overseas, so it's pretty cool. I mean, even when we caught Jim Edwards, he was in LA, so that was kind of crazy. But
shout out to our fans. Please keep helping us grow the show. Another Slip and Dip download record, almost 1,000 downloads in 1 week.
Yeah, man.
And they said we wouldn't last 5 shows.
Yeah, crazy.
Kid folks united.
So today's episode, guys, if you are watching on YouTube, the names are on the screen for you up there. We have Brad Katona, winner of the Ultimate Fighter featherweight division, and we also have Alex Perez, who just came off a huge win over Jose Shorty Torres, an emphatic ultra combo, looking like a video game character, like cheat codes. Like it was amazing. So we talked to him, both those guys, and they both give us some great interviews, and we'll play those both for you here in just a few minutes once we go through all the other news of the MMA and boxing world. So where do you want to start off?
Start with a friend of the show, Joseph Diaz. Hats out to JoJo. Did what he had to do. He got the win. But we always talk about this in UFC. We don't talk about this much in boxing. He did not make weight. Therefore, he is still without his first world title. I touched him back and forth. He's definitely proud of his latest win. I stopped the man, I think, 7th or 8th round. But he's definitely disappointed that he didn't do what he had to do on the weight game. But as you know, it's part of the fight game. Even for Crips, it's an ugly head in boxing.
Yeah, it's a lot more rare in boxing, but it does happen. It does happen, and fortunately, JoJo, the scale got him. But he did get his hand raised, and I mean, at the end of the day, that is what matters. And hopefully, we get to talk to him soon about maybe what happened, and try to get to the bottom of this weight thing, man. Because these weight issues, man, it doesn't make any sense. Guys just need to show up and make weight, or move up, whatever it takes.
And we also talked about this on the show. He told us himself that he had a feeling he going back to Las Vegas. I got PBC sources that confirmed to me that Deontay Wilder, barring injury, and Tyson Fury will get it on this December in Las Vegas for Wilder's WBC Heavyweight Championship of the World. That fight might actually be better than, as far as on paper, better than Wilder and Joshua, because people forget Tyson Fury is quote unquote the lineal champion. I mean, basically, he's recognized as the top guy because he beat Klitschko and he never lost that title, even though he lost his belts from being inactive and semi-retiring or whatever. But he's still a lineal champion. So technically, if Wilder beats him, he's quote unquote that guy.
Yeah. It's kind of weird, man. It's kind of weird. I agree with you though. I think that will be the best fight for him. Tyson Fury, man, like a lot of people still seem just to not give him credit. I know he had the deal where he got really out of shape, but looks phenomenal now. He's really slick. He's a slick boxer, man, and I think he could cause some problems for Wilder. I think he could. It would be a good test for him for sure.
Good test, but here's the thing though. I think Wilder's the better athlete. He's the more active athlete. You ain't just gonna come off your couch and beat Deontay Wilder. I know he's had 2 fights in between, but they ain't on that level. So yeah. I think that's what's gonna be the difference. And he may have better skill set than Deontay, but all it takes is one hand for that one-hitter quitter to erase all that. And plus, Deontay's a lot more active and throws more punches. Tyson Fury fights at a very conservative pace. Basically, that's why he beat Klitschko, and people were saying it's a boring fight, but he has his pace. He's going to have to increase that pace to beat Deontay. Ask Luis Ortiz how that works out for you.
Yeah, no doubt. Guys, if you're watching on YouTube, or if you're listening either, go check out our interview that we had with Deontay, man. That was just 2 episodes ago, episode 62.
Third most popular Sipping Dip podcast.
Yeah, the YouTube views are kind of down on it, though. So go click on that YouTube video. Even though our audio downloads got a lot of love, the video side did not. So help us out there. Help us out on YouTube. And, of course, if you are listening on audio, please go subscribe to our channel on YouTube as well. Just, help us out a little bit. Help our visibility and help grow the show. So what else we have in the boxing world? Anything else popping in the boxing world right now? I mean, Deontay Wilder, that's the one I'm looking forward to. Obviously, we got Canelo Triple G2 coming up soon, too.
I'll get you more with Canelo. I'm having a conference call with him on Wednesday, and we'll see. Like I told you, I've talked to both fighters over the last month. It's going to be La Viva La Raza. If you won't see just people just going crazy and going toe-to-toe, I think we're going to see that toe-to-toe this time around because a lot of egos and machismos is oozing on both sides of the table. Triple G think he the better puncher and the better fighter. Canelo's like, I'm younger and I know I can take you a punch. So we got 2 people that egos say they're gonna go to war. Me personally, I just want to see somebody get dropped and be there. I wasn't there for one. You know me when it comes to boxing trilogies or repeats. I like to catch one or the other. So I didn't catch first one, so I will be in Las Vegas September 15th.
Yeah.
Doing my damn thing.
No doubt, man. No doubt. Yeah, so let's hop over to some MMA side. I want to go over some production potential YouTube stuff here in a second, but let's hop over to some UFC news and notes, man. Pretty big news. I guess hit the wire. Tony Ferguson says he's been cleared, man. Incredible. That's an incredible recovery. The dude's like Wolverine or something. Like, how is he already back from his knee injury?
That was an incredible injury.
Yeah, tripping over some production wires while you're doing your media obligations. But he says he's ready. He says he's cleared. What should be the first fight for him? Because he never lost that interim title. Never actually lost it.
But how much does it mean? Because we about to find out in September how much the title will mean. Because they say as soon as they say it's time that Kobe Covington loses his belt.
Yeah. They just straight
legitly. As soon as they say DDD, he's no longer champion.
Just issuing titles and stripping titles, man. It's kind of crazy. But I mean, Tony legit had a claim to be the number 1 guy, legit. It wasn't like a belt. It didn't feel the same when they gave Colby a belt. It seemed like they just gave Colby a belt to give him a belt. Whereas Tony, it was like, yeah, you probably more than likely the real champion right now. You know what I mean? It had a different feel to it. I mean, okay, let me ask you 2 questions. 1, does he come back at the same level before he was hurt? Because that's a serious injury.
If I was him, I'd take a fight and then with the guarantee that I get whoever has the belt, because no telling what happened. Because Conor could have the belt and just drop it and say, hey, I'm go for a super fight and I'm done with this sport.
Mm-hmm.
Or Habib will fight him, but we know that fight seems to be cursed. I'm not one to say that, but how many times is enough for this to be almost about to happen?
Yeah. There's been too many times that fight's been.
It's happened to me twice while I was there. I was there last summer when the whole Habib weight cutting thing, and I was there the fight week that this happened. So it's like, man.
Yeah, it's one of those things, man. It's like I want the fight to be scheduled again, but you have to schedule another high-profile top 5 fight right next to it, and maybe.
Well, do like they're doing Conor and Habib, drop the shit on us out the blue. Be like, it's gonna be in 6 weeks. Be there.
Yeah. No, you might have to do my theory to break this jinx. You schedule whoever, you schedule Khabib against somebody else, schedule Tony against somebody else, and then once they both weigh in, you switch it up and say you're fighting each other. That's the only way it seems like I think we can get past the scale barrier and all these other little freak injuries. Have them scheduled to fight somebody else until it's time to walk out. Be like, all right, switch it up.
Hey, if you watch on YouTube, please send us some questions. We know our shit. Try us.
Okay, yeah, no doubt. Showing the YouTube screen there for everybody watching on accident. So Tony Ferguson says he's ready. In a related note on that notice, Kevin Lee, What Kevin Lee says, he's getting ready for 229 no matter what, and he doesn't have an opponent right now. So who should he fight? I mean, would they run it back? Would they run that fight back? Because you know he had the staph issue when he fought Tony, and his cardio was zapped. Should they run that fight back, or should they both wait for somebody else? What should they do with this fight?
Probably should both wait for somebody else, but I can see UFC running it back because we've seen lesser fights get rematches.
That is true.
But the thing is, it was just last year, though. That's the thing.
No, it's recent. It's recent. Yeah. It's very recent.
Bob McCall has not fought anybody since then. So it'll be a rematch as far as he's concerned. Tony, I don't think Tony would sign off unless he got paid the same he was going to get paid heading into that Habib fight. That's where the whole financials come in.
Yeah, no doubt. It's a weird spot, man. That lightweight division. I mean, there's so many guys. Who knows how it's all going to shake out? And of course, we have the big fight coming up 2 weekends from now between Justin Gaethje and our boy James.
What the hell did James say at that press conference? He like, you punch drunk, and I'm gonna knock your ass out in a month.
Got that Homer Simpson.
he would executioner on my man at the press conference before 227.
Yeah, got with the Homer Simpson defense. And I mean, listen, like I'm a fan of Justin Gaethje. I'm a fan of their whole team and everything like that. But I mean, there is some truth to what he's saying. Like Justin, I'm not sure if he is like. I didn't know Justin how he talked before he started fighting, so I don't have a before and after to compare it. But it does seem like he's getting a little bit there. There's sometimes where he seems like he may be slurring some of his words, and I don't know. Maybe that's always how he's talked. If anybody out there that knows for sure, I don't want to put words into his mouth or make false statements or anything, but it seems like that there's some early onset there with that.
Go back what I've been saying since day one of this show. What the F is cool about getting hit? There's nothing cool about getting hit.
Hey, it's
people
exciting.
Think getting hit's cool.
It's exciting for the fans, for all those guys pounding Budweiser and Modelo. Whatever else they're selling in the arenas these days. I haven't been to a beer stand at a UFC fight. They keep that away from us in the press room.
He was part of one of the most craziest fights I went to. The fight with Michael Johnson. I went to that. Michael Johnson. I still don't know how he lost that fight, bro. But that's not my business, though.
Yeah, no doubt.
Man, that was a crazy fight. And then I'm thinking, like, this fool was like an inch of his life. Like, we're on the video game. This fool's like at the little bitty, like he flashing. He on so E, drops this man, and then gets the energy to flip on top of the cage and land a perfect landing. And like, damn, that was a crazy ass fight.
Yeah.
That nobody saw coming. At least I didn't think it was gonna be that crazy.
For sure. One other little topic I want to touch on right quick that has MMA Twitter up in arms for whatever reason, however serious you want to take it, but people are upset about this poster, man. This Darren Till, Tyron Woodley poster.
Why? Like,
they're upset about it.
Hey, you should get some business. Let them. You got some UFC contests. Let them know you're a legit artist. Look at the backgrounds we got up here. You're a legit artist, and you too could do something like that.
Yeah,
half the price.
Shout out to Boss Logic, man. Boss Logic's been doing some work for him with the t-shirts and everything with Reebok, so he's landing some good gigs. Boss Logic makes some badass posters. But this one, I get what they're saying, because it's like they're making it look like Till is kind of towering over Tyron a little bit. I mean, I don't.
That fool's 6'3", Tyron's 5'9". I've been up on both of them.
I know, yeah. There's a huge fight, like height difference. I get it. I get that. And I personally like the fact that they're actually displaying the height difference, because whenever you go to like UFC.com and look at the fight matches, they squish the guy that's like 6'5" to match up with the guy that's like 5'8". Like, show the height difference.
So what are people mad for? I didn't pay attention. I'm like, we talking about posters. We talking about posters.
Talking about posters, dog. Talking about posters for real. Nah, I get it. I mean, yeah, they're just kind of saying he's kind of like looking down on the champion. Like, there's some bad optics. I don't see it, man.
Too much time on their hand, bro. That shit don't mean nothing September 8th when T Wood show why he one of the best welterweights of all time.
If there's any issue with it, I have the issue that they have the two ladies really, really small at the bottom. Valentina and Nico. Like, come on, like blow them up a little bit. Blow them up a little bit. Like, make them at least get the bottom fourth of the poster. They
are only 125.
Bottom third of it, at least. It is what it is. It is what it is. But that's what MMA Twitter's mad about this week.
This week.
I mean, that's what it is. That's what it is. Yeah, other than that, man, there's not too much other news going on in the world of MMA. I know Ryzen had a fight card last night. I watched a little bit of it, here and there. I just wasn't invested in it. Plus, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to bed now.
I saw that New Japan stuff. Everybody's watching in the middle of the night. Like that's like the coolest shit ever.
Oh, New Japan Pro Wrestling.
I'm like,
no,
it's cool, but I got better things to do than me. I was working than that. They like that shit. Just like there's a reason that it's not mainstream. I'm just saying.
It's mainstream for pro wrestling fans. It's a lot better than WWE because they actually have storylines that are interesting. Whereas WWE is just like, hey, it's Monday. Let's throw the same 2 guys back in the ring again. And
that is true.
Here's
why I don't watch Monday Night Raw no more. Oh, we got this Joe Blow that's on his couch that thinks he should be writing or producing the shows.
Yeah.
I get tired of it. Y'all wrestling fans, just watch the damn fights. That's why I don't watch fights no more other than pay-per-views.
Yeah. It's
SummerSlam, when's SummerSlam?
Next weekend, I think.
Yeah, I'm like, I saw it pop up on my screen. I'm like, I didn't know what SummerSlam. I knew it's close, but it's like I don't really watch wrestling no more because, well, they should have booked it this way. They didn't know what they were doing. How about just watch the damn fight?
I mean, I get it. I get it with pro wrestling, man. Pro wrestling is supposed to be a soap opera, and when you're WWE and you're not telling stories like you're supposed to in a soap opera, you're kind of failing at half your job. You know, I saw somebody on Twitter the other day was like, "What's the point of a wrestling promo?" I'm like, that's literally more than half of the entire thing. Like, is cutting promos and selling yourself as this larger than life character. If you're not doing that, I mean, yes, the in-ring component is supposed to be something exciting and new, but that's also the reason why cruiserweights, you know, outside of WCW days, were never like highlights of the show. Like 205 Live gets no love. Like they don't get national TV airtime, and they're doing the most exciting shit ever. Seriously, 205 Live, if you watch that stuff, it's amazing what they're doing, man. Mustafa Ali, Cedric Alexander, all them.
Me and the missus be watching the Miz and Miss. That show's actually pretty funny. Maurice is actually pretty funny with her Canadian accent. They show like the behind the scenes of them leading up to their kid. It's pretty cool.
I like the Miz.
Great dude. Yeah. He's actually, I'm surprised, you know, I was looking at, he legitimately is a certified UFC Hall of Famer already. Like, people don't realize that. He's got that Grand Slam. It was that he used to get that Grand Slam, everybody be doing it.
Yeah.
You would think MTV reality star become UFC Hall of Famer, which is about to happen in the next decade.
No doubt, man. No doubt. There's nobody in the WWE right now that cuts a better promo than him.
No.
There's not. Samoa Joe's up there, you know.
And, I'm sorry, I know you don't play that Madden. They got Coach on the John Madden game. Coach does a halftime report. Shout out to Coach getting some love.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not buying Madden.
I've been playing it for the last week because shout out to EA Sports for getting your boy testing. Feel free to sponsor the show.
That's shooting for the stars right there. Holy. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I'm not buying Madden. I'm done with that. Ever since they tried to put out this sorry ass excuse of why Colin Kaepernick's name was muted 2 years in a row.
Here's the funny thing on I have a trial version they give, like whatever advancer.
Yeah.
They must have switched it because I have a download and he's in the song.
They put it back.
So he's on I guess the latest updated version. That's what I got.
Yeah, they downloaded a little patch and they put it back in.
So I got that patched in, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. It is what it is. So we touched on a little bit of pro wrestling, a little bit of boxing, a little bit of UFC. Let's go ahead and get into our guests. And for those of you watching live on YouTube, we did do these interviews earlier today, so they're not exactly happening right now, but hey, they happened today, just a little bit early. We had to get Brad super early today because he is over in Ireland. So
6-hour time difference.
Yeah, we had to take that up because it's like, what, I don't know, 5 in the morning there now?
Yeah.
So he's not waking up that early for us. We're not that important. Yeah, 3, whatever. Anyways, so first how we're going to do it is we're going to play the interview with Brad Katona. It's a very good interview. And then we'll play the also very good interview with Mr. Alex Perez that we just did before we went live. So enjoy that. Also, production notes wise, please, I have a question for you guys. Like, I'm trying to brainstorm some things to get a couple more videos, at least 2 more videos throughout the week. And I want them to be something, a little bit more special. Little quick hitter things, maybe 10 minutes long each. Thinking like doing maybe like a top 5 list or like a top topic of the week where we like maybe debate the hottest thing of the week or something like that, or maybe break down a fight or 2 or something like that. But leave your ideas in the comments. Let us know if you want to see like a top 5 list every week or a breakdown or something else that we can do. We can do some nice editing on it, make it real nice, like a proper YouTube video, not just like a live stream. But let us know what you want to see, and I will make it happen for us. So let's do this, man. Brad Katona interview, and then Alex Perez. Cool. So here we go.
debut. We taking it international this week, all the way from Ireland. Mr. Brad Superman Katona, winner of the Ultimate Fighter undefeated featherweight division. Gotta be specific because there was 2 winners. Yeah. Featherweight division. Thanks for coming on, man. How's that sound to still be hearing that, man?
Oh man, it's crazy to still be hearing it. You know, every time it's said, I don't know, it just lights you up. It's been a crazy couple months, and here we are. It's truly is amazing.
When you look back on that season and watch the show, like, I watched most of the episodes. Did you get a kick out of the fact that because you knew what happened while we watching it, but how people kind of basically overlooked you, like, that's Clark Kent, man. He can't beat nobody.
Yeah, watching it was awesome. Mostly because you don't know exactly what sound bites or what they're going to show you. So you did the 6 weeks in the house, but you don't know what they're going to cut and where it's going to go, and really everything they put in the show played out how it actually played out. There wasn't any crazy TV magic going on, but then watching it and just watching it unfold episode by episode, it was crazy. I was excited. I watched most episodes multiple times because sometimes you see a little snapshot of yourself, you're like, holy shit, I'm actually on TV. That's crazy.
Was there anything on the show that didn't make it out that you thought would or that you wanted to?
Not really. There's so much that happened, and even looking back on it now, it feels so long ago that I did it. I've been talking a long time, but they really did a good job of showing the different characters in the house, and I honestly mean that. You got to see John Gunter and all the crazy stuff he would do, making a boat with water bottles. You got to see Bryce Mitchell and making his bow, stuff like that. I was hoping that they'd show it, and they did. They really did a good job this season, at least, of putting in, I don't know, the uniqueness of all the characters, because we were quite a weird mix of guys.
Yeah, no doubt. What is it? What do you make of Dana saying that they're going to be moving, and that was like the last season or one of the last seasons of The Ultimate Fighter in that gym, and you're really kind of like the last piece of that long history of that show.
For a contestant, it's probably nice. I don't know where they're going to put the gym, or if it's all going to be out of the Performance Institute. That's what I think. Maybe they'll do it all over the UFC PI.
Yeah, they bought the building right next door, apparently, right across the street, and that's what they're going to turn into the new TUF house, I guess, and all that kind of stuff.
That's really cool. I didn't know that, but you know what? For the contestants, that will be, quite the luxury. For us being able to, we went to the Performance Institute pretty well once a week, and it's a real treat to go there. But I am glad I got to go into the original Ultimate Fighter gym, just because it's something that I've been thinking about since I started in this sport of thinking I'd eventually make it on the Ultimate Fighter. So I'm glad I got, one of the last seasons in that facility at least.
Have you thought about anybody you want to see your first fight, or are you just ready to get back in there and do your thing and let people know that you're more than just a reality TV star?
You know what? I want to wait till I actually establish myself in the UFC before I start calling guys out, because right now I've had one fight in the UFC, and even that one fight was against another person from the Ultimate Fighter, so it wasn't the same as fighting someone already signed, for example. So I'd really like to establish myself first. I do know when I want to fight again. I want to fight UFC 231 in Toronto, fighting in Canada, my home country. That would be amazing. So that's when I'd like to fight. And in terms of opponent, until I establish myself, then I can start calling guys out. But until that happens, I'm just happy competing.
So why are you in Ireland now? Are you working, sharpening up your skills with some people over there, or are you just chilling, getting away from everything, like just leave the country and recharge?
No, I moved my life over here to Dublin, Ireland. I'm training out at SBG full time under John Kavanagh. It was one of those places. Well, it's just plainly is the best gym in the world, and it's the best coach in the world, in my opinion. So that's why I moved on over here. And I didn't want to just be visiting for camps. You visit for an 8-week camp. How much better are you actually getting? You might be sharpening up for it, but being at a place full time, it's the off season when you're not preparing for a camp. That's where you're going to see big improvements and growth. So that's why I moved on over here. And it's kind of crazy to be saying, well, I'm training full time in Dublin, Ireland. Like, it's that itself is insane to think about. A year ago.
Yeah, I saw you're doing work with the Conor McGregor Fast program. Like, what makes that whole program so special? I mean, what's different about it than other training methods that you've used in the past?
To me, there's multiple parts to that which make it so good. For me, for the first time in my life, I actually got the training of a professional athlete, having a strength and conditioning coach who would be tailoring, the conditioning to our needs, and also doing a 12-week camp. So that was hugely beneficial. But I think the best part about the FAST program is one, you avoid overtraining. There's a big stress on recovery and monitoring your recovery to make sure you are not just that you're taking a day off, but even while you're training, even on your on days, that you're not pushing that line of overtraining. You're always pretty close to it, but you're never over it. So I think that's one main advantage. But also, by working with your heart rate, you get an idea of how to pace for a fight and what you feel after a 15-second spurt, and how long it takes you to recover, or a minute-long, more steady state sprint. So you get that conscious feedback looking at your heart rate and knowing how your body's able to perform. It's how it was explained to me is essentially, you got handed a Ferrari, and now this is the owner's manual. You're really learning how to push the vehicle that is yourself as an athlete. So it paid huge dividends in my recent fight. I was going into round 3 how I normally feel, I was going into round 3 how I normally feel going into round 2. So at that point, there was 5 minutes left, and I knew exactly when I took him down, those 3 minutes left, I knew exactly what pace I could keep for the duration of the fight.
That's interesting. I like that analogy, because it seems like there are a lot of guys out there that don't know, how to optimize their body, or they may not be training correctly or doing things just enough, to get in there and compete. But I like that analogy a lot, because nobody does read owner's manuals ever.
Well, the thing is like when you have that conditioning, they're able to keep up with you for the first 3-4 spurts, but all of a sudden when it's the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, and at that point, 30 seconds left in a round, and you're exhausted, that's a long time. That's an eternity in the cage when you're gassed out. So being able to have that extra push, as well as you're looking at the numbers, and the numbers don't lie. A lot of people quit first mentally before the body will fail. And you can actually see it in the numbers. So you're doing sprints and you're seeing how high your heart rate's getting, and the numbers are showing you could have pushed a little bit more. So you have that feedback of how you do and how hard you're pushing, and there's no way, they just tell the truth.
That's awesome.
So I know you probably heard about a little super fight that somebody from your camp is in. Are you by chance in camp sparring with Conor to get ready for that fight? Are you one of the training partners?
Well, thankfully, I'm not sparring with them. Thankfully, but just for the fact that this fight's at lightweight, I'm not working too much one-on-one with Conor. His training's all dictated around his schedule, when his conditioning is, what bodies he needs. So that camp is very focused all around him, and when you're fighting for a world title, you have that luxury of having it all tailored around you. So I guess the short answer is no. I'm not really working with Conor for this camp. I'm too small. That's just it. Competes a whole lot larger than I am. So he's working with the best from the gym and the guys who can truly push him.
Just by being around the atmosphere and seeing that greatness around you, how much do you get just by watching and being around that? Just stuff, I'm pretty sure it blows your mind. Like, you actually watching stuff that you see him build a machine that we see on Fight Night.
Yeah, you know what was the craziest part to me was I visited SBG in 2016, and when I booked my ticket, it was when Conor didn't have a fight scheduled. But as soon as soon as it was booked, all of a sudden the Eddie Alvarez fight was announced, and there's one day where Conor's working on the pads with Owen Roddy, and they drilled the exact combos that he knocked out to Alvarez with. So seeing that and remembering it from months ago, I remember just sitting there by the boxing ring, watching him drilling these combinations and seeing what one of the best, ever in the sport on pads, and what that level is when you see it. You get a real appreciation for it when it's in person. Obviously, watch it on TV, it's amazing. But when you watch him put in the work day in and day out, especially for that fight, it was crazy. And it's motivating, and the atmosphere in the gym is positive, like it always is. It's a perfect breeding ground of excellence.
Do you plan on being there live October 6th, or are you gonna watch it on pay-per-view like the rest of us?
You know what? I'll probably be watching it on pay-per-view like the rest of everybody else. Making that trip to Vegas to watch it live is a long way to go, and hopefully it'll be interrupting my training for December 8th.
Absolutely. So is your next fight for sure going to be at 145, or are you trying to get back down to 135? I know you mentioned wanting to go back down to bantamweight.
There's no word yet on the weight. I'd certainly like bantamweight. For the featherweight limit, I didn't need to dehydrate really at all for it. I walked onto that scale pretty fueled up still. So I've competed almost my entire career at bantamweight, so that's how I'd like to continue it. Preferably, I think that's the weight class where I have the best shot at chasing a world title.
That's interesting. It's funny because a couple of the guys, well, not only yourself obviously won the show, but Luis Pena, who says he would have won the show had he not gotten hurt, fighting at 155, says he wants to move down to 145 as well. So there's a chance that you guys could possibly meet if you guys both stay at 145. What would you think about that matchup?
It'd be interesting. He's well, especially with that weight cut, I'd be curious on how he'd be able to perform at that weight. I like Luis from the show, and even though he fought my teammate, after living with people for 6 weeks, you either really like them or really hate them, and thankfully for the most part, it's true though. You live with guys for long enough, you're going to be have strong feelings one way or the other. There's nobody really in that gray zone. But if he's able to drop down at featherweight and my next fight's stuck at featherweight, then we'll see. But my plan's going on down. That's where I've competed almost my entire career, so that's where I'd like to be.
Very cool. So what else is going on out there in Ireland for you right now? I mean, I read something about like the largest meteor shower is happening tonight over there. Something crazy. You gonna be watching that?
I don't know. Now that you mention it, maybe I'll be looking at the sky. But in all honesty, right now for me, it's after my fight, I was back in Winnipeg in Canada to visit family and friends for 2 weeks. My girlfriend competed out there. Competed while I was back home. She's also a professional mixed martial artist. She fought the week after I did, so I went out with her. And now that we're back in Dublin, it's just getting back to routine is just keeping in the gym, and it's a very fun time to be in the gym. A whole bunch of our athletes just got signed to Bellator. There's a big super fight with Conor and Khabib coming up. There's so much happening in the gym. There's so much momentum behind the team itself. It's just a great place to be. So that's kind of where hey, now it's my job. That's amazing. That's amazing just to say. Now I'm able to live off of just competing, which is truly amazing. So it's just staying in the gym, and it that's where I want to be. You know, every day I'm out of the gym, you know, I'm wanting to be there. So just continue improving because, you know, the talent's only rising up.
Very cool. So what do you do to unwind? Because I saw you did that video with James Lynch playing a little bit of Mario Kart. James Lynch is a friend of the show, a friend of ours as well. And it looks like you're struggling on Mario Kart, I must say. But do you play any games in your spare time?
You know what? Right now I'm not gaming much. You know, I want to. I need to get a PS4 or an Xbox One, something. I have to upgrade. At least my last console was a PlayStation 3, and that's back home in Canada. But I got to upgrade soon. But yeah, well, the thing was about that, why I struggled. It was the first race, and I hit a wall, and then I couldn't reverse. And like normally the A button is go and B button is back up, but that's not how it was, I guess, in Super Nintendo days or. That's just not how it worked. You had to go actually press the acceleration and the back button, but man, it just wasn't working for me. And you'd be amazed at how hard it is doing an interview while playing Mario Kart. If every game, you know, Contra would have been much easier, but with Mario Kart, you're always turning, you're always focused, and I didn't want to lose. Like that was my fight. You know, I didn't want negativity kind of snowballing during that time. So. You know what? I took the defeat in stride, though. He has a lot more practice than I do.
So even with competitive, even in video games, the competitivism come out, Mr. Katona.
Of course, man. Playing Mario Kart with anybody, you want to win. You know this.
Yeah, man. It gets kind of heated to play a video game, especially head to head.
Absolutely.
So. That's the only way to play it, man. That's the only way to play it. If you're not into it, you know, you shouldn't be playing. You know, just do something.
Yeah, no.
Especially, yes, I would expect that, especially from a fighter, you know, who's competing at the highest level, like probably the most purest form of competition there is out there, you know.
Well, you know, what was surprisingly difficult was just trying to answer questions and keeping thought while you're winding all through Rainbow Road. You know, it was nearly impossible. He had his questions planned out, so he could make a small little spurt, and that was it. Focus on the race, but you know what? Yeah, maybe I'll challenge him to Super Smash Bros. On the N64 or something, and that's my stomping grounds.
Oh, okay, all right.
You got a go-to game.
Yeah, I'm not too big into Smash Brothers. I was when it first came out, like the first version, but after that, it was like, all right, this is too much for me. Too much action going on. I play Fortnite right now, so you know that's what's got me hooked on my free time.
Well, everybody is supposedly.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like I shouldn't be playing it, but you know, whatever. It happened. I got sucked into it. But yeah, man. Obviously, so you said December is the date that you're looking at to return. Is that correct? That's going to be the one in Canada, 231.
Yeah.
And do you see yourself making any treks back over to the States before then, or to the North American continent before then? Or are you just going to be over there training? I know you said you had 12 weeks to prepare for the TUF finale. Is that an average like for you, or was that the longest one you've done so far?
You know, that was by far the longest one I've had. Most of the time I'd have the longest I had before that was 6 weeks. And most of my career, just where I was situated, I was in the middle of Canada, in Winnipeg. It's right above North Dakota. And there's not a whole lot of professional MMA, you know, around it. So I was always having to go to out west for it in Alberta. And when you're the guy coming in, most of the time you're the last minute call up. So most of my fights were shorter notice, you know, from a week to, you know, 4 weeks notice was most of them. But I've had, I think 2 of them I had about 6 weeks notice, which was great. But you know what, I try to stay in shape year round, but definitely having a 12-week camp was amazing. You know, I knew exactly who I was fighting. I knew exactly pretty well to the hour when I'd be fighting. That's awesome. You know, and that was a first in my life. So, you know, having that much time to prep, there was no reason, you know, not to put in the work and dedicate as much time as you have.
It's also, I mean, it's good it played out that way too, because you didn't have a last minute replacement. You know, you had all that time and you kept the same opponent. You know, it wasn't like weigh-ins day. Okay, he misses weight, and then here's your new opponent. You know, you didn't have that craziness happen.
In all honesty, I was prepared for it mentally. You know, and most of that camp, especially with Jay Cuccinello as an opponent, it wasn't so much of a very specific game plan. It was just be sharp and be the best version of myself and be prepared for a 3-round fight. So, you know, if they would have put, you know, Bryce Mitchell or Tyler Diamond in there again, it wouldn't have really mattered too much in my opinion. It would have been, you know, once again, I would have came in exactly like I would have, the best version of myself and in shape and ready to go. So at that point, you're just ready to compete.
You alluded to earlier how much mental the UFC is. How much you think you improved as a fighter mentally? Because you came in with a solid game and it seemed like it got even better as the season went on.
You know what? I don't know how much I improved over the season. You know, when it's that tight of a schedule, there's only so much improvement you can get. But really, with each fight, it's just more and more experience. And you know, maybe I figured out some stuff mentally. In all honesty, over that time of the reality show, I didn't feel like I had progressed that much, because you're in fight camp, and when you're in fight camp, the number one priority is, one, remain uninjured. You know, you want to stay healthy, and then number two, come in shape. You know, at that point, I was going into the show with the idea that this is as good as I'm going to get. From here on out, it's just maintenance over the 6 weeks of the series. And, you know, I with every fight, you know, getting familiar with the octagon is by far the most comfortable cage I've been in. You know, the room's warm, the canvas is soft, it's grippy. You're not worried about any of the smaller shows where, you know, you're going to slip on, you know, what is it now? The Modelo logo. No, everything's perfect. You know, it's. But really, I fought in some shows where it's extremely slippery. There's a little bit of sweat on it, and all of a sudden it's a skating rink. You know, with the octagon, it's nice and grippy. Afterwards, your feet and your knees all kind of mat burned up, but that's fine. At least you didn't fall on your butt throwing a high kick. You know. So to me, you know, getting familiar with the cage and it being the most comfortable feeling when you're in there, that was a nice surprise in my first fight. And then going into my second, you know, that comfort just kind of kept rolling.
Very cool, very cool. Well, Brad, man, thank you for coming on the show, man. We appreciate
Thanks
your time.
Yes.
Our first international guest coming in from across the globe.
Hey, we take it international, man. Thanks for helping us grow the show, brother.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks, you. Thanks, Locke.
And if you get that fight in December, you got to come back on, because we have the segment. You ball, you get the call. Like, you getting that call now? We will definitely call you back when you get that dub.
Awesome. Sounds great.
To the Slipping Nip podcast, another fighter coming fresh off a win at UFC 227, making his Slip and Dip debut, Mr. Alex Perez. Congratulations on getting that win over Shorty, man. We watched the fight earlier today. That 11 punch combo was brutal.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Crazy fact. I mean, was it 11? Have you gone back and watched how many punches it was? Because it was just like a barrage. Have you rewatched the fight?
Nah, I feel awkward watching my fights. You know, if it's me watching it, I feel kind of awkward. My coach told me to watch it, but I don't know. I just don't like doing that.
Can you talk about that body work that you do? Because a lot of fighters don't do. Me and Matt are a few people that cover boxing and MMA, but for some reason, a lot of MMA fighters do not use body work to get they victim down, kind of like Jose Aldo and yourself. Is that something that you did for this fight, or that's just part of your style, that Mexican style, to tear up that
It's
body?
just part of that. It's just part of that Mexican style, man. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't go to the body and throw no hooks, you're not really Mexican.
That's the requirement right there.
Yeah, that's one of them.
What are some other ones? I mean, I know you were talking about the eating after the fight. Is that part of it too?
Oh yeah, you gotta love tacos.
In the Korean barbecue, right?
A Korean barbecue, man. That's my thing.
Oh man, did you hit up the spot that you were talking about yet?
Yeah, I did. I hit it up twice already.
Dang, twice, man. So what are you walking around at right now then?
About 146.
Oh, okay. That's not too bad. That's not too
Yeah, not bad at all. People people think I'm big for the weight class, but I mean, I do get heavy, but I usually walk around this weight. You know, I mean, I do get pretty big sometimes after fight, depending how injured I am. If I got no injuries this time, so I mean, I went back straight into training. If I had to take a week or two off, then I mean, yeah, I get pretty big, but usually, I'm not too big.
Do you think people finally put some respect in your name now that you got this win over a high-profile opponent on a big stage? Because they were talking about him fighting Mighty Mouse by the end of the next year or something like that. Now you throw your hat, or I guess now Henry.
To me, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter if people, talk about me or not. It's not for me. That's just someone's opinion. Um, if I cared about people's opinion, then I probably wouldn't be in the sport. To me, I'm just out of work, and my job is to beat people up. So that's all I do.
So where does the motivation come from then? Is it getting that title? Is it just racking up the wins, racking up the money? What's the main motivation for you?
For me, it's a lot of different things. Obviously, I want to get the title. Obviously, I want to win, but to get the title, would be one just to be known as the best in that weight class. I've never been the best at anything. I've always had growing up through junior high and all that. Always had people better than me. Always had people better than me and stuff. Same thing in high school. Never the best. Same thing now in college. The same thing in the room now. I'm not the best guy in the room. So my motivation comes from trying to be the best. I want to be the best at everything. I'm super competitive. It don't matter if we're running on the track to sparring to just training to whatever it is. I'm competitive, and I just want to be the best at everything I do.
That's interesting. So when you guys spar, do you guys spar hard, or is it more of a safer style sparring to make sure you guys don't take a lot of headshots?
We wear head kicks. I mean, we wear headgear, and we pretty much do everything. But I mean, we respect each other enough to know that it's practice. What I mean? I want to win. It's like I'm trying to go out there and knock you out or drop you. It's more like, okay, we got to score the rounds kind of thing. I'm trying to see how many takedowns I can get, how much control I can get, things like that. It's not like, oh, I'm going to go in there and try to knock all my partners out and stuff like that. We're pretty good about being safe. We're not too crazy. We're not kneeing each other in the head and stuff like that.
That's cool. Do you spend a lot of time sparring with Marlon? With Marlon Vera, or how's that?
It's weird because I spar with everybody from 125s up to 170 pounders.
You about that life.
You know what I mean? So it's not like I just get cheat though. There's a whole bunch of guys in between from, we got Desmond Torres at 25 pound, and then you go to the 6'1", 145er named Fernando Padilla, and then you go to Christian Aguilar, that's a 170 pounder, and then, I work with all of them. Like I said, we just do we do the best, not to try to kill each other.
So going back to the fight against Jose, he has that reputation of being a slow starter. Was that something that you tried to take advantage of? Because it seemed like you just came out and pushed that pace really quickly.
No, I usually try to set a decent pace. I'm in good shape. I train year round. It's not like I took the fight on 3 weeks notice, but I was training. I do strength and conditioning non-stop. I don't just train when I have a fight. I do strength conditioning all the time, and yeah, I came in there to push the pace. I wanted to set a good pace, good tempo for this fight, and I did.
Nice. So one other thing I think that's a pretty cool thing is, obviously you're on the Contender Series, and you were part of some of the last fights in that arena because they're moving to a new place. So was that important to actually have a fight? Was that something like a cool moment for you to actually fight in that TUF gym?
Yeah, I seen it on TV. My good friend and training partner Carlos Esparza fought there a few times. The Ultimate Fighter. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of cool to fight in that historic building, as you can say. A lot of good people came through there. A lot of future Hall of Famers came through there. So I mean, it's pretty cool to fight there.
What was it like being in that arena though? Because it's like it's so small and intimate. Like you can literally hear everything. I'm sure you can hear everything that your opponent's coaches are saying. Like it's gotta be kind of weird, huh?
It was a little weird just because it was a smaller crowd, but I mean, it didn't have no effect. It was kind of just like, okay, it's just smaller people. I just took it as I'm gonna get knocked out or my opponent's gonna get knocked out, and I just went in there tried to do my thing.
So who'd you like to fight next time you touch the octagon? And when would you like to come back? Would you like to come back for the end of the year since you didn't really get that many no injuries or nothing?
Yeah, I would like to fight. I mean, I know it's a huge card, but October 6th in Vegas against Brandon Moreno. You know, he's a tough Mexican kid, and he comes to bang. He's good on the ground. He's good everywhere. So I think that's a good way to challenge myself. He's top 10. Everybody else is pretty busy right now. You know, I just seen that people are getting booked left and right at 25. So I'm hoping to get Brandon Moreno in October. That'd be the dream match.
So what do you think about on the same card you on about the shift in your division that nobody saw coming?
I think it's good, man. Mighty Mouse is a good champion. He is the greatest of all time. I don't care what people say. He just, it wasn't his night. If they fight again, who knows whose night it's gonna be? You know, he said he injured his leg pretty early in that fight. So, I mean, who knows? Who knows what could happen again if they fight? If they fight 10 times, he's never gonna get the same result. You know, it's always gonna be who's on that night.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It was a surprising result for sure. But what do you make of Henry kind of saying? I guess he was saying it earlier this week or last week about that the division needs more storylines and needs something to shake it up a little bit to kind of garner more interest. Do you agree with that?
I think everything needs a shake up every once in a while. You know, it was kind of Mighty Mouse kind of reminded me of the Anderson Silva. You know, he wiped out the division, had to go up to 205s for a while, and then some new talent came in at the 185s. Kind of same thing. I mean, he cleaned out house. He fought everybody of who's who in that division, and now that Henry's there, there's a lot of matchups to make. A lot of guys Henry hasn't fought. So, I mean, I do agree with them on that. It's good that we got a shake up in the division, but at the same time too, you don't know how long that shake up's gonna be because I'm pretty sure Mighty Mouse will get a rematch.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody deserves a rematch ever, it's got to be Mighty Mouse, right? I mean, 11 in a row, and if he doesn't get one, something's wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, have you given thought of fighting at 135 in the UFC, or are you prefer to just stay at 125?
Eventually, yeah. I mean, obviously, making weight gets tiring and stuff, and gets a little old. But right now, my time is to make a run at 25. And that's what I believe I'm going to make this run. You know, even if I lose one or two on the way, but my time is now at 25. 35s can be, after I win the title or after I get make a run there and talk to my coaches and team and see what they decide for me. But as of right now, 25 is my division.
With you heading into the physical prime of your career, does it seem like you got that La Viva La Raza, like anytime, any place? It's like you got that style. Like you trying to get as many fights against anybody, anywhere over the next couple of years while you're in your physical prime. Is that accurate?
Yeah, man. This is my job. I fight. I'm a fighter. My job's not to matchmake. My job's not to really promote. My job is to fight. So you tell me where and when, I'll be there. I fought for $300 at one point. Now I'm fighting for a couple thousand. Like I can't complain. I can't do what I love to do. I get to travel, and I'm not gonna back down from anybody. I have not turned down a fight yet in the UFC. I almost fought one of my good friends. They offered me a fight against one of my friends, and I took the fight in a heartbeat. And I had her text my friend later, kind of like, "Oh man, like I didn't mean no buy it, but it's our job. It's my job to fight," and I'm like, I can't say no.
You say, of course, it's not your job to promote, but do you think that you need to be more vocal? Because we've had some fighters come on here that say closed mouths don't get fed.
Yeah, I believe that it's starting to become more of an entertainment, but I'm not gonna change myself into that. I know who I am, and I know what I need to do, and I know what I need to say. They can't deny me if I keep winning. Eventually, I'll get where I need to be.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, the entertainment aspect is definitely something that it seems like it fast tracks some guys, but at the same time, there are guys that, like you said, you go out there and you keep making statements, especially like you did against Jose, like with freaking ultra combos you're unleashing on guys, looking like a video game character. Like you're gonna get pushed up too, man. Was that your favorite finish? I mean, I know you say you don't watch back your fights, but was that your favorite finish or?
Yeah, that one and the Fresno one, my UFC debut. I mean, Fresno was a little bit like, I mean, it wasn't crazy like that, but I got to fight in front of my hometown. I live 45 minutes away from Fresno, so I sold out that place. It literally had people telling me like, man, after you fought, everybody left.
Oh wow!
And I probably sold a good 100, 200 tickets for the Fresno fight.
That's exciting. That's exciting. Yeah, me personally, I mean, before this one, I like the one on the Contender Series because I mean, you put the dude completely out, and then when you get up, his head bounced off the canvas. That was kind of.
Oh yeah, that was up there as well.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy, man. You got some nasty finishes, man, and all these people that say that 125, like there's no finishes or like it's not exciting. I'm like, you're not watching the fights if you're saying that because there's some crazy stuff that happens.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, I just think we don't get the credit we deserve. We're small. I mean, not every fight's gonna be a finish. Like I fought Eric Shelton and it wasn't a finish.
Yeah.
I wasn't. I was a little off that night. Wasn't too happy with my performance there, but I got the win. But like I said, it's not always gonna be perfect. You're not always gonna hydrate right. You're not always gonna cut the weight right. There's so many factors that people don't understand. They just think like you go in there and fight. Like there's so much that has to go into it. And if everything's not right, then something could be wrong. Or everything could go completely wrong, and then everything can go right in the fight. So, like I said, I don't think we get the recognition we deserve.
Alex, what did you learn from your only, well, not your only, but your second 2-fight win streak, losing streak of your career about 2.5 years ago? What you learned from that made you the fighter you are today? Because in a weird way, it seemed like you needed to go through that to get to this stage.
Yeah, I lost twice early in my career. I think I was 3-2, and then came back 110, and then I lost 2 in a row again. For me, it was just one of those things like you can't give up. You got to keep pushing. You got to keep striving. Like shit happens, and that's just like in life as well. Like nothing's ever perfect. If it is, it's too good to be true. So something's always gonna be there to not. I'm not saying like stop you, but there's always gonna be something there, like a mini roadblock, and I had to learn how to get to that because at one point in time after that fight, I was thinking about, man, maybe I should retire. I won 10 in a row, lost, didn't get called to the show. Lost 2 in a row. Like how much longer is it gonna take me to get to the UFC? And good thing I did, and good thing I had my coaches in my corner and kind of telling me like, don't give up. You deserve to be there. You will be there. And I'm just happy I listened.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. I mean, obviously, like you said, you got to the big stage. You got having some impressive finishes on some big cards. I mean, what's like? I mean, when you take your next fight, like, do you want it to be on Fight Pass? Do you want it to be televised? Like, do you even care like where it falls on the card, or are you trying to say, hey, give me some more eyes on my next fight?
To me, it doesn't matter, honestly. I get paid the same if I'm on the first fight of the night or the last fight of the night. My pay don't go up from where I'm at. I just want to get in there and fight. I want to do what I love to do, and I want to get in there and collect my checks, man. I'm here to make as much money as possible, and I can't do that if I don't get a fight.
Because you said that favorite word, money. What do you think the UFC needs to do well, not as the UFC, the fighters need to do as far as getting a fighters union? Are you pro union or you stay out of all that stuff? Because
I stay out of all that stuff, man. Right now, like honestly, I'm happy with the UFC. I'm happy with the matchmaking. I'm happy with everything they've done for me. So I can't complain about anything they've done, So I mean, who knows? Maybe in a couple years I might want a union. I don't know. Like right now, I'm just staying out of it. I'm just focused on me, and that's it.
Very cool. So what are some of the things you do in your free time when you're not training, getting ready for your fights?
Honestly, I really don't do much. I'm simple. I teach classes at our gym. I teach our wrestling classes, and I teach cardio kickboxing. And then I'm either at the gym helping someone get ready for a fight, helping coach, or I'm just at home hanging out with my friends. I'm a real family guy. I like going home. I live about 4 hours away from my hometown, and I like to go home. And when I go home, I like to hang out with my friends and family. Like I just got back from home maybe a couple hours ago, and I mean we had a barbecue. We had a baby shower for one of my friends, so it was cool. It was just nice time to hang out with family and friends, catch up, just relax a little bit. I like to hang out with my family.
Well, do you watch boxing a lot
I haven't really been keeping up with boxing too much lately. I really don't watch too much TV, so I mean it's kind of hard. But I mean, obviously I see all the mega fights and stuff, like the Mikey Garcia's last fight. I watched that, and then I watched obviously Triple G's last fight. You know, I watched a couple guys, but nothing too crazy.
You watch Canelo Triple G too? In about 3
I,
weeks.
I'm gonna watch that for sure. You have to watch that.
Yeah.
Even if you're not a boxing fan, all the hype, you have to watch it.
I've talked to both of them over the last couple weeks. It's gonna be Mexican style. They both the egos involved this time.
I don't know, man. That's what Canelo said last time, man. I'm Mexican, but I'm a Triple G fan, man. That guy, the guy reminds me like the guy's crazy because watch him hit pads. He looks all weird. Doesn't really like. I don't know. You look at Canelo hit pads. He looks all nice, hits hard and everything. But when it comes to hitting people, Triple G knows how to hit people, man. Canelo does too, but like the last fight, I don't know what he was doing. You can't be going on your back foot the whole time, man. If you're trying to win a fight, I don't think you can win a fight going backwards.
Unless you're Mayweather.
Yeah, that's the only guy, but that's one guy. Not everybody's Mayweather.
Yeah. Have you seen? I don't know if you like follow social media a lot, but have you seen T.J. Dillashaw and Gervonta Davis going back and forth like all week long?
I've seen them a couple times. I just think it's funny, man. Like don't get me wrong, he's an athlete and everything, but this is MMA. This isn't boxing.
You can't take a leg kick, right?
Oh, people don't understand how hard leg kicks are. So people think like, oh, like that's nothing. I was like, man, let me kick you one time.
Yeah.
Like let me kick you. It's like, and I'll let you kick me. They're like, nah, it's okay. I'm like, well, you know, it's a whole different sport, man. You gotta respect the sports. So.
Yeah, that was one of my first things. Like when I started training, like one of my first classes, it was like we do some basic like warm up stuff, and they're like, all right, I'm gonna hit you with about a 20% leg kick, and you tell me how you feel. I was like, okay. This is what it's really like, you know. So yeah, people really don't understand. Like if you haven't been in a training room and you haven't been kicked in the leg by somebody that knows how to kick in the leg, yeah, you're in a whole world of pain coming.
Well, it too. Just imagine, okay, he doesn't leg kick him, but if he takes him down, what is he gonna do? TJ is a good wrestler. He's not like he's gonna stop his shot, and it's not like he's gonna stop his ground and pound. It's not like gonna stop all that stuff. You know, getting elbowed in the face is a lot different. Michael Kokov learned that the hard way with Gonzaga the first time they fought. He got elbowed and didn't know what hit him. You know, it's a lot different. It's two different sports, completely different sports.
Absolutely.
Man, we definitely appreciate you coming on, man. Definitely, next time you fight, we gotta get you back on. Man. We know you're a quiet man, babe, but you have a good story to tell.
Yeah, man. I don't talk too much. You know, I try to just stay, you know, focused and humble and try to, you know, just do me.
Yeah. Can you help us get your teammate on? We definitely trying to get Mr. Sparza up on here. Can you help us corral her?
Yeah, she's kind of a tough one, man. She's before the fight she doesn't like doing media too much. You know, she's very focused on what she does, and after the fight, she'll do a couple media things, but she's not like a real big media person. She just feels like overwhelmed with all the media stuff because I mean, people don't understand how many people how many media sites reach out to you.
Oh, yeah.
You know, to me, it don't bother me. I'm like, I'll do it if I can. If I can't, then you know, I'll let them know, try to reschedule or something. But like, I don't know, everybody's different in this game. I learned that.
For sure. Well, yeah, like Kendrick said, man, we appreciate the time, and like I said, we'll look forward to talking to you again soon whenever you get that next fight scheduled. Because I know it's going to be another exciting one.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate you guys having me. You know, it means a lot.
For sure. Thank you.